Hello, lovers and haters, likers and dislikers. My name is Shannon Gregory. I'm originally from Indiana, which makes me a Hoosier, but now I'm a sinner. I live in Vegas, Sin City, and yes, as you may have heard many times, all I got for living here is this lousy t shirt, which I embrace wholeheartedly. So, I want to share some of the very best kept secrets about the end. The secrets to the end. So, this one is a big one. So, more provocative information for you. That's again what my purpose is here for to do. But there is actually no hell per se, or even heaven per se. Again, those are fictionalized stories in the Bible written by the god of hate, aka Satan, or I call terror. Um, they're fictionalized to scare you. Again, to go to church, to worship the God of hate so that you can be saved, so that on Judgment Day, which there is not a Judgment Day per se, where you will be stand before God and the good go to heaven and the bad go to hell. You could really consider where you are right now, this world, hell in the making, which is exactly what it is, actually. I'm going to explain. So, what happens for hell? The concept of hell in reality is when a person dies on this earth, you are either buried, right, in a coffin or whatnot, in a tomb or whatever, entombed somehow, or cremated. So during cremation, God of love, the traditional God that you probably think you're worshiping, but you're actually worshiping the God of hate since the dawn of time. But God of love or God of hate, Satan, so God or Satan can reanimate the body during the cremation process so that the person being cremated feels every bit of the burning and the pain and the torture, which is the fire hell, which is where the concept comes from. But once that is over, once the person is cremated, turned to ash, it's over. It's not an eternal pit of fire. You do not burn it for eternity. God of love is not that cruel, although he can be very cruel. And I'm going to explain all of this. It's a fine line between love and hate, as we all should probably have learned long ago. But anyway, so that is what would be, that's where the idea of the fire of hell comes from. Although it's really only during the cremation process. When it's over, it's over. It's not for eternity. But you're ashes and you're done. If you are buried in a tomb, coffin, whatever, again, God or Satan can reanimate the body, and you will be alive in your tomb or coffin until the end of days, which are rapidly approaching, believe it or not. That is hell. That's the hell. You're not burning, but you are alive in a tomb. So, yes, God or Satan can reanimate the body as a punishment. And it is reality. That is hell. That is the real hell. There is no eternal hell that you will go for eternity. That God is not that cruel. Satan would love that, but God is not, and God trumps Satan. But you will pay. I'm going to get there. So that is the current concept of hell. Now, heaven does not exist either yet, but there is hope. What is happening? The great question of time is, what is God's master plan? What is all of this about? We all have asked it. I've asked it. Again, I was agnostic because I'm like, I don't understand what is happening. This Bible cannot be God. It's not love to me, and God to me is love. I got the basics in Sunday school. Jesus loves, right? But then it turns to this hate speech, and it is hate speech to me. I'm going to be completely blunt with you. It's hate speech masked around religion, where it's God approved hate speech. But it's the God of hate, so of course it's God of hate proved speech. But anyway, so God's master plan, the God of love, the master plan, the reason that we go through the hell that we've gone through since the dawn of time is because the God of hate has been in charge. Jesus was crucified, back in the biblical era, and was crucified for speaking provocatively like I do, to tell people the truth. Well, he was captured, sentenced, betrayed, You know the story. You know the 30,000-foot story. Jesus was crucified on the cross, buried in a tomb, 3 days later resurrected mysteriously and disappeared. And then the story goes that Jesus will again reappear and sometime in the future to save the world from eternal damnation, which would be our Armageddon. Okay. So during this time, during the reign of the god of hate, which are Satan has been in charge. Okay, if you can't, you should be able to believe that. Look at the Holocaust. Look at all the wars. Look at all the social problems, all of the hate, all of the ups and downs of this life. They're designed by Satan, or the god of hate, or terror, as I call him. And he is among you on this earth as well. He is an eternal figure like Jesus and like God. He does not die. Jesus does not die. God does not die. They are eternal beings of life. So Satan has been on the earth since with Jesus. Got rid of Jesus. Jesus went away. And so Satan had his chance to try to see what he could do as playing God until God sent Jesus back to end it. During that time, the God of love, or God, has been studying Satan's work here on earth, because the God of love, God, is so pure, so full of love, that he cannot even come to this planet. He cannot even step here. So he sends Jesus to be the eyes, ears, everything, and to report and whatnot. But God can see here and is everywhere around us. But he can't be here physically like Satan and like Jesus. So God does not think like Satan. God cannot think about hate. He can't even conceive of how you would hate someone, or how you would terrorize someone, or how you would corrupt someone, or belittle or destroy. He can't think like that. So Satan got the chance to do his work so that God could study and learn from Satan, so that God could create the perfect world, which would be heaven. So it took all this time to actually build heaven. Heaven has not existed. And Satan knows this. So wrote the book of the Bible, so that you think that you're going to work and struggle through this life of suffering, and that one day you're going to get your great reward to go to heaven, which Satan knew did not exist. And he also knows that hell doesn't exist. So to prove this little tidbit, the Depeche Mode song Enjoy This Silence is actually about this little well-known kept secret that there is no hell, and that when you're in your tomb, in your coffin, you can be reanimated by Satan or God. And Enjoy This Silence is about that. All I ever wanted, all I ever needed is here in my arms. Words are very unnecessary. They can only do harm. Think about it. Listen to the song. You'll see it in a whole new light, and it's quite haunting and frightening. Wonderful song, but it has a very sinister backstory, and it's a true story. So anyway, God's master plan is actually very remarkably simple. Just as it is simple to go to the perfect world, is all you have to do is love. It's that simple, but the society that Satan has created makes it so remarkably difficult to actually do that. It is so hard to be your own person, to challenge the status quo, to go against the grain, to get to that's what you have to do to get to heaven. You have to challenge, what is God? Question. That's how you grow, evolve, and enrich your soul. That's the key. But anyway, God's master plan is quite simple. Like I said, God wants to learn from Satan's work. This has been a massive social psychology experiment by God of love to learn the horrors that Satan could achieve when he's in charge. The Holocaust, one of the great horrors of the world history. Civil rights movements, women's rights movements, gay rights movements. All of these issues Satan has designed as part of what he called his Art of Destruction, which is actually a document. The Art of Destruction. And in it, it outlines his master plan, Satan's master plan also, to destroy life, to destroy this world, this gift from God, the world the planet we are on. The Art of Destruction, written by Satan, God of hate, terror, is Satan's master plan to destroy all life. everything. And so over time, Satan had to learn how to do this too. And he's a master manipulator, mastermind, just like God of love. But God trumps the God of Satan. Thank God, right? Well, anyway, so Satan over time has developed his master plan. The Holocaust was a big one. He learned how to, in Germany, and then it has spread to control through fear and intimidation. And he chose, like, Jews are a minority. They are not worthy, and you can do what you want with them. And they were, of course, persecuted, almost annihilated. A horrible story about that. So that was a bit disaster. Satan also is designed to, and everything he does is designed to end in disaster. God is in control, and everything Satan does will end in a horrible disaster. It won't succeed. It'll be horrible. It'll be life-changing and life-scarring, but it will end, and it will be a big flaming disaster. Holocaust is one. In South Africa, where the minority rules the majority of white people rule the majority of African people in that country. That was another work of Satan to develop his skills of where he could actually go underground, because he learned the Holocaust was a big disaster. You can't do it where people can see what's going on, because they'll fight and wars will break out and they won't tolerate it. So in South Africa, a small country, he went underground to develop his skill of controlling through a minority, to control the minority, but you can't see it. So things look okay, but it's not. You're still controlled, but you can't see it by a minority of people. So, and the minority decides they design everything. The social problems, the financial crises, everything is engineered by them to create upheaval and then peace and then upheaval, just to keep everything chaotic. That's Satan's work, okay? So that's what was developed in South Africa, and Satan learned. It was successful. I hate to say that, but it was successful. And then, of course, the movement started against apartheid, because it was people could see, and it got the name apartheid. And then the movement Stop Apartheid. So South Africa changed its ways, at least on the surface, and now, whatever it is, I don't pay attention to it because it's a piece of shit corrupt country as far as I'm concerned. So anyway, so now Satan is in the United States. And from the lessons that he has and the skills he's developed through trial and error in South Africa, the Holocaust, and other incidents in history, has brought to the United States. And that's what's happening now, which is what's prompting the end of days. Because now, on this massive scale, Satan is again, or terror, God of hate, whatever you want to call him, is now enacting ruling by minority the majority, and is going to suck the soul of freedom out of this country. Again, art will be censored, will be controlled. Artists will be controlled, and you won't see it because it's controlled through fear, like Nazi Germany, but it's so hidden, and you can't speak about it. So artists will know this. The community, people already know this. Okay, it's already happening, and they know that they're being controlled and censored, but they can't talk about it because they'll be punished brutally and disappear, whatever. Satan can do anything. Satan is a beast. I'm telling you. He has powers that are supernatural. Stranger Things from Netflix is completely possible, okay? Satan can do all of that. So can God. But Satan's in control right now of this country, of this world. But God's on the way to the rescue, okay? So hold on. But that's what's going on. The Art of Destruction is a document written by Satan, God of hate, which created the Bible, which was the irrefutable document that creates the basis of the strife, why suffering is necessary. And you can't challenge it because it's the Bible. It's God's word, right? Well, it's not the God of love. God is a God of love word. So anyway, so the Art of Destruction. In the Art of Destruction, things are designed like, for example, oppression is part of the business model in the Art of Destruction. Oppression of minorities. It creates a business opportunity so that movements begin. Civil rights, women's rights, gay rights, all kinds of movements surface to build communities. This is what God wants, God of hate. You build your community, you fight the power, you get some success, but then you have setbacks. You have assassinations like Martin Luther King Jr. Other major incidents in the world but they unite. Those unite, like Matthew Shepard when he was killed, nailed to the fence in Wyoming. It brings the gay community together to rally around this brutal, heinous crime, and it unites community. That's what God of hate wants. But God of hate designed that. God of hate did that to then create that movement to then fight the hate. But if the God of hate didn't do it, then there wouldn't be any of that anyway. Everyone would be happy and love and coexist happily, right? Which is what the God of love is going to do. Not trying, going to do. God of love has been studying this since the dawn of time, as God of Satan has been in charge, so that God can create the perfect world where none of this will be. There will be no hate. There will be no terror. There will be no violence. There will be no crime. There will be no greed. There will be no corruption. There will be no evil in the perfect world. It will be a utopia. You may not even be able to imagine, because God couldn't imagine what that would look like. So Satan had to get the chance first so that God could learn what not to put into the perfect world. So we've all been suffered, and we understand that people would be very angry. I mean, we're angry at what has happened under the guidance of Satan. And it's so awful, and it's getting so bad that it has to stop now. And God of love is stopping it very, very soon. I don't know anything about that, but it is moving forward quickly, because Satan is sucking the soul. Look at what's going on in this country. We have yahoos running for president and leading. I mean, orange hair people. I mean, orange people. What do you call them? I mean, it's just laughable, but that's what's happening because it's a joke. And you can't see it, but you can't trust anything. I mean, even healthcare, it's an industry that is part of the art of destruction. Diseases are actually manifestations of humankind. We all could actually live forever and will in the perfect world. But diseases like HIV were created by humans to punish, God hates fags and that kind of thing. AIDS cures fags. That's a human campaign by Satan, because the God of love actually is gay. And actually, I know this is going to be shocking news for the religious dictatorships of the world, but actually God of love and Satan are both gay. Yes, you heard that right. Both sides are gay. But the God of Satan will do whatever it takes to create chaos and hatred and division and conflict. Although he's gay, he can also be straight. He can be anything he wants. He can be male, female, invisible, a beast. He can be Bigfoot. He can be your worst nightmare. He can be Freddy Krueger. He can be anything. And he can take on your identity and commit crimes in your stead. Go back to his normal look, whatever that is, because it fluctuates. It changes. You don't know what Satan looks like. Okay? Because Satan can evolve. And so Satan could, for example, Satan could commit a crime like O.J. Simpson crime. Frame O.J. Simpson for those brutal murders. But O.J. Simpson, no one can ever prove that he did not do it. Because the Satan can take on O.J. Simpson's appearance, likeness, everything, copy him, do evil in his stead, and then leave, and O.J. Simpson, the real O.J. Simpson, pays the price. But God only knows the truth. Well, Satan knows the truth, but God also knows the truth. But all of us do not. You see how evil, right? And that has happened. Satan can take on and become your civil rights leaders. He can pretend that he's your civil rights leader, do everything that unites your community, gives you that spirit to fight, and then is assassinated, martyr, but it's all the whole time wasn't a real person. It's really shocking to them, I know, and this is provocative information, but this is the truth. I am the truth, okay? I know you're going to hate me. I know I'm already hated. I've been hated my whole life, so it's nothing new for me. But I'm here to do this, to help you know the truth. That you do not know, you really don't know what supernatural is going on in this world. But I'm trying to tell you what is happening. So anyway, so God has spent the time since the dawn of time. Satan has ruled to learn from Satan as like in a massive social psychology experiment to create the perfect world, aka heaven, where the chosen will go. But you have to be pure of heart. You have to be pure love to get there. And it's going to be very, very hard to do. I'm going to just lay that out to you. You have to get pure of heart. You can do it. It's not impossible. But you have to love, and you have to start loving now. Okay, so let's see. The Art of Destruction was written by the God of Hate. But here's what's the hopeful news. The Art of Desire is written by the God of Love, or the God we think we're worshiping, but all the whole time, religious institutions worship the God of Hate. That's what they're institutionalized from the Bible. And so they actually worship the God of Hate. But if you have rejected that, you're already on your way to the perfect world, okay? If you have turned your back on religion, the Bible, burn that Bible, okay? Get it out of your houses and burn it. Throw it into those book burning piles by all the conservative states or wherever they're burning books. Throw it in there too, I'm not joking. And replace it with this one like I told you yesterday. I Heard God Laughing, all right? Replace it with that one. Before this one gets on a banned book list, because it's going to be there soon. Also, here's another one called The Gift by Hafiz, translated by Daniel Ladinsky. Get them before they're on the banned book list, because they'll be getting there soon. But anyway, The Art of Desire is written by the God of Love, or the God we think we're worshiping. I worship. I rejected religion long ago, like I said. Reject religion, get away from it, get your heart pure, get your heart right. It's really simple. You don't have to be saved. All you have to do is love. Get rid of the hate out of your life, and you're on your way, okay? So all these radical artists that I have loved and I celebrate, they're doing it. They've been doing it. That's what's brought me to where I am, okay? Because they're like, this isn't right. Their songs, they're like, something's wrong here. And they're on their way. So all the crazy artists, Boy George, Madonna, they're on their way to the perfect world. I know. The Vatican is so pissed. But it's so true. Again, I heard God laughing. It is that good, right? Madonna. This is so good, right? So anyway, The Art of Desire, written by the God of Love, I'm tearing up here and laughing and stuff, is in its final stages, and it's almost ready for debut, all right? The perfect world, heaven, and it's going to be... This world is going to pale in comparison, all right? So get right with the God of Love, get the God of Hate, show him the door, and you get yourself ready for one big, perfect party, all right? So may God bless you, and join God in laughing that Madonna is going to the perfect world, and the Vatican is not. They are going to be so pissed. All right. Until next time, toodles.